Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to cover one important interview question, which is mostly asked by interviewers. Okay, and it's quite confusing when I talk about this question. Okay, so I'll quickly navigate to that question. So the question is, what is the difference between the smoke testing and regression testing? And believe me, guys, this question you will hear very frequently in the interview. And the problem is these both terms, right? The both of these terms are somewhat um, uh, look like really same, right? I mean, when we talk about these two terms, right, they look like I mean, somewhat when you define these two fields or these two terms, you will feel like both are interrelated or both are same, right? Okay, so let's talk about the first one, and then we'll try to segregate both of these things, and we will cover like how exactly we can answer this to any interviewer. Okay, because if you're gonna answer one, the other one they will put it on you saying that then what is sanity testing. If you say okay, this is sanity testing, then they will ask you what is the smoke testing then. Okay, so it will be very confusing then. So let's cover first smoke testing. Like, what is smoke testing? So you can say smoke testing is kind of a build verification testing. Okay, now always remember, guys, when you say build verification testing, they will immediately ask you what is build also, right? So you should be aware of these terminologies whichever you are using in your interview. Okay, so you should know these terms, right? So if you're saying okay, smoke testing is also known as build verification testing, then their next question might be that what is the build. Okay, so you should be knowing it. So I'll cover this build in a next video maybe, but let's talk about the smoke testing as of now. So in smoke testing is also known as build verification testing. When I say build again, any new build, right, which is given by the dev team saying that okay, this feature is ready, this is a new build, you can perform your testing. Okay, so in few organizations, again, smoke testing is basically smoke testing is being done by developers, or in few organizations they will be performed by the QA team members, right? So it depends on company to company. There is no hard and fast rules. So you can say, okay, in your company, this is being done by development team. Before they are handing it over to QA team, they generally do their smoke test. Okay, so again, you just have to define that process in front of the interviewer. Okay, you don't have to be go with the definition. You can simply say, okay, no, in my organization it is being done by dev team. They run certain set of tests, okay, before giving or before passing this build or before providing this build to you guys. Okay, so once this build is given by dev team to the QA team, right, then QA team will be carry forward with or QA team basically start with the further testings. Okay. Now the main goal, if you talk about what is the main goal of doing the smoke testing, okay. So again, smoke test is to find out the bugs in very early phase. Okay. So the main goal is to verify that the build is enough stable to proceed with more in-depth testing or thorough testing, right? So if there are any P1 bugs or a blocker bugs, they will be identified very soon, right? And it will save some time. Okay, otherwise it will go to the QA, then QA will highlight the bug, and then they will come back to the dev team, and then they will start working on. However, in this case, they will immediately get they know the build, they know the feature, they can do some high level test cases, high level tests, and if they feel like okay, this build is stable enough, they can provide further to the QA team. Now let's go to sanity test. So sanity testing is mostly done by QA team members. So you can say in your organization you do sanity testing, you don't do smoke testing. Even dev do smoke testing. You can say this also, because even these terminologies are not being followed by all the organization, right? You can simply say in my organization we don't do smoke test. Just stand with your uh, answers, right? You don't have to just give all the answers. You can say okay, no, in my organization we don't do smoke test, we do only sanity test. They will ask you like when you do sanity test, you can say like whenever I got the new environment or new build, right, before rerunning, before running all those or before starting a thorough testing, I generally check the build, or I generally verify if the system is enough stable or not to provide to proceed with further testings, right? I generally do sanity test. So you can say you generally perform sanity test, or you can say a very basic level of test on the application. Okay, once it is delivered to you after every sprint or phase or of our release, right? Whenever build comes to you or whenever new deployments comes to you, you generally do one testing, a very high level testing to see if application is not breaking. Okay, you can proceed ahead with your further test cases. So again, the main goal is to identify the P1 bugs as early as possible, right? To save the time and the cost. So if you see in both the terminologies, in both the type of testing, basically we are trying to identify the bugs as soon as possible. Okay. So that's the reason. Just don't try to provide the differences to the interviewer. Okay. You can simply say, okay, in our organization, we don't do smoke test, we do sanity. If you ask me that what is the difference between smoke and test, I know because I have Googled it and I have found this answer. It could be wrong. Simply say this, right? If your organization is not following that process, then how would you know? If I ask you, like, okay, in which model you follow, you say agile, right, or scrum. I say no, in my organization we are still following the waterfall model or V model. What you will do? Nothing, right? So again, you just have to stand with your answer. So the conclusion is like both smoke and sanity test are different ways to avoid delay, energy by quickly defining whether an application is too damaged, to excellence any regression testing. Okay, so that's the overall conclusion of both this test. So now you can have these answers with you. You can simply give both the answers, or you can just stay with one of these answers. You can say the other one I don't know, and you're good to go, I think. Yeah. So that's it for this video. I hope this video will be helpful for you guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot.